This episode of The Breakfast Dish is brought to you by RUMI. With warmer weather comes yard work. And lots of it, if you're someone else and not me. Prune your trees and shrubs, clean your eaves troughs, replace those drafty windows you noticed over the winter. Or you can call RUMI to take care of all your outdoor and indoor spring home maintenance while you fire up the BBQ and relax.
You have to know that you could say barbecue.
While you fire up the barbecue and relax.
I want to use the first take.
Visit RUMI.ca. That's RUMI.ca. Or call 1-844-777-7864 and let RUMI's trusted local experts take care of your yard. So all you have to do is enjoy it.
RUMI. Are you mine?
1-800-777-7864.
Yeah, sorry. You did the real jingle. I just made up one for the company that we're not being sponsored by. Are You Mine, my new dating app. Thanks, Rumi.
Tell me your dreams over bacon and eggs. We'll share a laugh and a story and even a wish on the breakfast dish.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode... Just let me do the intro first, and then I'll tell people why I'm giggling.
Oh, okay.
This is The Breakfast Dish, this podcast that I, Karen Johnson-Diamond, host with my son, Griffin Cork, who is at this moment, we're looking at each other on video. He's in his apartment. I'm at my house, and he's got this, you know, one of those big hoodies on, those gigantic hoodies that are all so comfy, cozy. And he's got the hood up, and he's all like, you look like you're having this podcast interview from a cozy bed.
I am currently wearing a shirt that I wore from Blue Notes and blue jeans. I don't know why my mother is doing this in the intro. Mom, come on.
And I'm wearing a ball gown.
I wouldn't wear the hoodie to the Breakfast Dish interview. That's not very professional. Some would say as unprofessional as laughing before the show even starts.
You just looked so cute. That's all. You just look cute. I am your mommy. I find you, my boy, very cute right now.
Thank you. Yeah, in my business casual dressings and not big hoodie. You said. I think it's pronounced hoodie.
Griffin Cork, my son. Tell people what we do on this podcast.
Well, we keep things pretty serious and buttoned up here on the podcast. I'm not sure where this revelry is coming from. I'm kind of the heel of this show, I've decided. But we usually talk to people arts-focused, arts-centric, arts-adjacent, or directly arts-involved. Used to center around specific events or things going on around the city. But then we were like, but maybe we just want to talk to people about who they are and what we like about them. And then sometimes that cycles around events and sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, I guess Karen gets to comment on my physical appearance every show now.
Yeah, I plan on it. In fact, I think I'm going to go back and listen to other episodes and just imagine what you were wearing and then type on the...
and edit in.
Yeah, I'll edit it in or I'll just put it on
It's going to sound different with the background noise, but you're going to edit it being like, it's described video, but just what I'm doing.
He's wearing shorts and a
nice
t-shirt.
Sneeze, Griffin, you idiot.
I'll just put it on the podcast page, what I think you'll wear. I'll just put pictures of you wearing odd things.
The transcript of the podcast episode is not what happened in the episode. It's just each episode there's an essay of how Griffin's dressing wrong.
I didn't never once said it was wrong. I said it was cute
it's
and
incorrect
cozy.
In that I'm currently wearing, what did I say, a suit? I'm wearing a suit.
Okay, yeah, you look fantastic in that double-breasted suit.
I have those spreadsheets on my desk by 5.
You know who else looks fantastic? That's my segue. Our guest today looks fantastic. I have known our guest for probably 15 years at least. And the last time I was in person with this person, I wouldn't say that she looked older by 15 years, but right now she looks younger by 15 years than the last time I saw her. This whole pandemic thing's been good for people, I think. Just a little bit of stress off our faces and we all just unage. Unage is not a word. Mary-Ellen Perley, welcome to The Breakfast Dish.
Thank you so much, Karen. It's been an absolute delight listening to you banter back and forth with Griffin, who is wearing a hoodie.
Mary, you snitched on me. What I was going to say is I've only ever known you as one age because we've met today.
Well, I think it's true to say that our lifelong friendship, or almost lifelong friendship, has proved that she's on my side. And
Yeah,
that,
it proves that she's a freaking tattletale.
I'm a mother.
she's a mother. But I also may have said it's a very casual podcast that I do with my son, and she probably expected me to tease you a little bit because that's what mummies do.
Right?
Yeah, and some people would say like, oh, Griffin, maybe your apartment's cold because you're poor, so you have your big hoodie on, and hopefully no one calls you out about that. And some of my like fun sound engineer friends would be like, oh, Griffin, it's really smart to wear a big soft thing when recording to have a lot of noise isolation. That'd be awesome. But no, not these two matriarchs.
Nope. Hey, matriarch Mary-Ellen, do you have kids?
Yes, I do. I have a daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She is 30.
Does she still dress casually for
Oh,
important
yes.
events?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, my boy is 25, so we have both done it. We've succeeded. Our children are grown up. We've done it.
Well, yeah, okay. They've grown up. Yeah.
Ah!
Sure.
I thought you were saying I done it like I reached 25, like you knew that I was going to die soon or something. Like that's
No,
it?
I mean,
You did it,
I've
Griff.
made you an
you
adult.
did all the years you were going to get.
No, we've made you adults, successful adults with your own hoodies, and we're proud of ourselves, aren't we, Mary-Ellen?
We are very proud. We survived. Yes, we're survivors.
That's it.
We're
That's
very
it. It's about
proud.
us. It's about us surviving,
That's
having
right.
children. Hey, Mary-Ellen, we brought you on for an oodles of reasons. First of all, you and I are friends. Second of all, there are a bunch of one-act festivals coming up in Alberta. And you are the president of the Alberta Drama Festival Association One-Act Festival.
That's correct.
How long have you had that position, Mary-Ellen?
I knew you were going to ask me that question. I am finishing off my second 3-year term.
Okay.
So I have been in this position for, 6 years.
When I met you, we're going to talk to you about being the president of things. We're going to talk to you about being on a board. We're going to talk to you about teaching, being an actor, being a stage manager. But when I met you, we were both on the board of Theatre Alberta, I think is the first time we met. So you tend to give of yourself a lot to boards.
I do.
And is the ADFA a voluntary position?
Absolutely. Everyone involved in ADFA is volunteer.
What brings that out of you?
A desire to give back to the arts community is one of the reasons. And if I don't do it, who's going to do it? So I kind of go, I mean, there'll be a pause. You know, are you willing to stand as president? Are you willing to do this? There'll be a pause at a board meeting, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody has to go, I'll do it. Inveterable hand up going, well, 3 seconds. Okay, I'll take that on.
Oh. Where would we be in the arts without people like you, though? Seriously, where would we be?
I don't think I can answer that question. I know that I love the arts. I know that the arts are the soul of a society. And if we don't have people who are willing to step up to the plate and say, okay, I'll do it, then what is going to happen to the arts? And the community arts, as with ADFA or Walterdale or Pump House or any of the community theaters, they are the springboards into professional theater.
Yeah.
So we need to be there. We need to be there for several reasons. We need to be there for people who have no wish to become professional, who have a love of theater and a desire to do theater in whatever capacity. In their free time,
Yeah.
we need to give them a platform. We need to give them a place to do that, because creativity is essential, in my view, to the soul, to the individual soul. Being able to be creative in whatever field you're in, but particularly in the arts, is absolutely essential to mental, physical, and emotional health. And being able to share that with other people is important for the ones who are receiving the creativity.
What? Sorry, Griffin. I'm going to ask another question. Then you can jump in here because it's also.
I
your
would
podcast.
never sorry, I'm just sorry. I would never interrupt you.
Did you just interrupt
Sorry,
me to tell me?
I just
you'd
wanted to
never
finish
interrupt?
saying what I was saying here. I would never interrupt you, Mom.
Okay. Thanks for calling me Mom and not Karen, which is what you normally do. Mary-Ellen,
I
do you
would
remember?
never interrupt you, Karen. I misspoke. I would never interrupt a Karen.
Do you remember the first live theater show you saw or were involved in? Or one that really stands out in your memory?
Yes, I do remember. I was born in Montreal, and then my family moved to Ontario, and my father decided that it would be a good idea to take the family to the Stratford Festival in Ontario.
Oh, wow.
My sister had just gone into high school. She was studying Shakespeare, and my mom and dad thought, well, this, would be a good educational opportunity to take the family to Stratford. And we stayed in a beautiful B&B, and the lady who ran the B&B was very, very motherly and would wait up for us to come home from the theater. And then she'd talk to us about, what did you think? And how did you enjoy it? And blah, da, 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 da. And I can remember being asked by this lady when we got home from a production of Hamlet, what did I think? And I think I must have been, well, my sister's 8 years older than me, so I would have been about 7 or 8. And I piped up, well, I thought this about the production and that about the production. And then everybody went absolutely silent. My mother and father looked at me, and my sister sort of went, she's stealing my thunder. And then the lady said, and so what did you think about the to be or not to be speech? Well, I thought he was talking about killing himself, and he wasn't sure whether he really wanted to kill himself or not.
Oh, I see. So you were so insightful as a kid. I thought you tore into Stratford.
Oh, I know. I did not criticize.
I got it.
I explained what I thought about the production.
Right.
I also remember seeing Bruno Gerussi and Kate Reid in Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, that would have
same
been
summer.
Amazing.
It was. And I can remember watching Kate Reid ride her bike down the street.
That's like watching, like you're in Hollywood and you watch somebody go biking by, if it's Kate Reid.
Another thing that happened that same summer is there used to be a restaurant. It's not there anymore. But there used to be a restaurant where the artists and the general hoi polloi went to have dinner before a performance. And if you went early enough, you got to see the actors. We went early because my sister wanted to see. I was Bernard Gerussi, Christopher Plummer, Kate Reid. They were all sitting at a table having a light dinner before they went over to the Festival Theatre. And I wanted to go over and get their autographs, and my sister wanted to do that. And I remember my mother saying to me, now, no, we don't want to interrupt them. They're relaxing. They're having their dinner before they go to the theater. Just, no, we won't disturb them. Years later, I remember Kate Reid being interviewed on CBC, and she'd gone to the States and really had been messed around. And then she came back to Canada, and the interviewer was saying, well, why did you leave then? And she said, because Canada didn't recognize their artists. It's very tough to work your heart out on the stage in a country that you love and not get any recognition, not even someone asking for your autograph.
You could have saved her so much American grief.
There was this one light dinner we shared where I felt so alone. And if one person came up to me, I would have felt different.
Oh, no. That's true, though. That's why a lot of people, a lot of big Canadian stars say they left.
It is. I don't know why we don't promote our own. We have marvelous actors here. We have marvelous playwrights and directors and choreographers.
That's interesting. I feel as though maybe it might, I mean, I guess I can't really speak for like stars of the stage, but I feel like the stars of like Canadian screen, I wonder if Canadians are just, I don't know, not to go with the whole like Canadians are too kind stereotype, but like if there's a little bit of, after seeing some of the interactions of some more of the American stars with either fans or paparazzis, because we really only see the ones that like go bad or go really good. Right. I wonder if we've tried to adjust to not have that happen. Like, I wonder if it was a situation exactly like yours where you recognize them and you go, oh, but we shouldn't. No, but they're having, well, we shouldn't. Right? I can never tell if people love that or hate that. I can never tell.
I think some of it comes down to this ultra polite attitude that Canadians have. Some of it is that. I think, these are my opinions, right? And I think another part of it is the fact that we're sort of like the middle child, not the eldest and not the youngest, because the youngest gets lots of attention. The eldest gets lots of attention because they're the eldest and they're breaking the ground and they're doing all the things. But the middle child sort of is the conciliatory member of the family. The peacemaker, stays quiet, doesn't push themselves forward, because if they do, they're going to get stomped on by the eldest one, or the little one's going to start crying and getting all the attention. So I kind of see the Canadian art scene like that. So, and Canada generally, again, my opinion, that we don't step up to the plate and go, hey, I mean, did you know about Timothy Finlay? Did you know that Jane Campion just won Best Director at the BAFTAs?
No.
And that she's a Canadian director?
I get excited every time I see Colm Feore on TV.
No, I do too. I get excited when I see him live on stage.
I know, he's exciting.
People in Stratford get excited when they see him walking down the street. So.
Now, Mary-Ellen, I got to ask, do you have siblings?
I do. I'm 8 years younger.
So only 2 of you.
Yeah.
So no middle child. And Griffin, you're an only child, so you have to get all the attention, want all the attention, and peacemake.
Very heavy on the peacemaker.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the dynamics in our family and my father's health. I was very much the don't rock the boat, keep things calm.
I'm the boat rocker who then keeps the peace once the boat starts rocking. It's usually my fault. I'm going to tie something in here because we were talking about Theatre Alberta and how you and I were on the board. This is a 6 degrees of separation thing I'm going to do here. But Theatre Alberta is, for the last 61 years, the host of Arts Trek, which is Alberta's summer drama camp for teens, which I work at, and everybody who has a teenager should know about, and every teenager, arts focused or not, should be at. Anyway, it began in Drumheller 61 years ago as the Drumheller Drama School. You have your hand up, Mary-Ellen. Were you a student then?
Twice.
And do you know who else was? Jackson Davies, who starred on The Beachcombers with Bruno Gerussi. Boom!
There you
See
go.
how I linked that
there
all
you
together?
Go.
61 years of Arts Trek. And how long have you been on that board, Mary-Ellen? Or how long did you sit on the Theatre Alberta board?
Well, I was president for that for what was it? Whatever the term was, 3 years, 4 years. I was there when Marie-Janine Willis was the executive director.
That's right. Right. Okay. Yeah. So me too. I was on the board when she was the executive director a while back. I'm not.
And Karen, I'm just popping in here to remind you that I would never interrupt you. And Mary-Ellen, I'm just wondering, what kind of role did you mostly serve in your arts career? Were you a performer, a director, an advocate, a board member, an educator? Where did you find yourself?
All of the above.
Yep.
Whoa. Okay.
My teaching degree is a double degree, English and drama. I taught English and drama. I taught English my entire teaching career, and I taught a combination of English, drama, and ancient civilization for 24 of those years.
Ancient civilization? Wait a minute. Which one did you focus on?
Greece and Egypt.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. My second degree was in classics because that history is always interested.
I guess Greece makes sense.
Well, the seat of Western civilization and the seat of theater.
Yep. Democracy and Dionysus, baby.
You got it, baby.
You got it, baby. I love that you two are calling each other baby now. Did you teach in Calgary?
No, Edmonton.
Edmonton, that's right. And are there Edmonton actor theater community people that you are responsible for educating?
Yeah, there are several actually, when I think about it, who've gone on to be involved in the arts in some capacity. And there's a couple of them that are friends with me on Facebook and reached out to me. One of them actually said she'd been stalking me on Facebook for years because she wanted to keep tabs on what I was doing. And I'm not a big Facebook person, but she finally reached out and said, hey.
Hi, my name is Kyle.
I'm Dave.
And I'm the Machine.
And we do a podcast called Kyle and Dave versus the Machine. It's a podcast where a sentient machine is forcing us to watch movies in order to prevent it from initiating the apocalypse. Although, Dave, you and I tend to talk about the ideas of the movie rather than the movie itself.
Well, it's the machine's fault, like everything. And then by effect, your fault, Kyle, that you've invited me, and this is the only thing I like to talk about.
I mean, I'm not going to face the apocalypse alone, so you seem like a good patsy to bring along with me.
If you wanted somebody that was going to give you some hope, you picked the wrong person.
Kyle and Dave vs. the Machine is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. New episodes are out every Friday.
I think the only teachers I have on Facebook from school are my drama teachers.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about being a drama teacher. Yeah.
I never thought about that.
You know
it's
why?
not that I didn't like my other teachers.
Here's why. I was teaching today at a high school in Calgary, and I walked in on the drama teacher, the theater teacher, talking to one of her grade 10 students, and they were in a corner having a very private conversation. And I walked in the room and I went, "Oh, sorry, should I step out?" And they said, and the teacher said, no, she's just telling me about her crush. And that's it. I think you connect with a drama teacher the way you connect with no one else, because they are empathetic. They have taught you to be empathetic. They actually look for your authentic self. You can be your authentic self around them. And so those two were giggling in the corner about the boy that this girl had a crush on. And the teacher's going, oh, tell me more. It was such a great moment.
Miss Crimmins, Miss Morissette, Mr. Malloy, Mr. Riley, Miss Duhammerall, I'm sorry. I never told you about a crush, and I feel like our relationship's been hindered because of that. I'm realizing my mistakes now, and I can't go back. I can only go forward.
Richard
shoot me a
O'Brien.
text. We'll get a beer, and I'll tell you all about my crush.
Richard O'Brien, Rena Cohen, Greg Stafford, Wally Foster, you all knew about my Neil Diamond crush. So sorry, that's all you had to hear about the entire time that I was a youngster. I'm sorry. Got any crushes? Do you have a crush, Mary-Ellen?
Do I have a crush?
Celebrity or otherwise?
Well, Comfior springs to mind.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
We're gonna get him as a guest one day. That's like we were talking. I think it was one of our first episodes. We were talking about who do you get to prove that you've like really made it in the podcast world. And we talked about John Krasinski. But if I had to choose right now between John Krasinski and Colm Feore, I'd want to talk to Colm
John.
Feore.
Oh
No, Colm.
no. See, but now this is interesting because this is kind of what we were just talking about. John Krasinski, I bet you, is more famous in the world than Colm Feore.
True. Colm Feore is in a lot of movies though from America, so I think he crosses over now. Like I
Oh, for sure.
I view him as he's Canadian, he's one of ours, but
Yeah.
John Krasinski has more clout, I suppose.
After The Office and I can't remember if he's Jack Ryan or Jack Reacher.
Yeah,
I think he's
no,
Jack
Jack Ryan.
Ryan. I mean, it's The Office. The Office is one of those like all engrossing things that you just can't beat.
I just have to quickly tell you a Colm Feore Stratford story. So I saw Hamlet at Stratford probably 30 years ago. Colm Feore was playing Hamlet, and it was a student matinee, and there's 2,700 kids there. And unfortunately, the people that came out to do the pre-show chat did that thing that I hate at student matinees where they went, "If you talk, we can hear you. We are live. This is not TV. Don't talk in the show, and whatever you do, don't throw pennies." So 5 minutes into the show, I guess it's a thing at Stratford, kids throw pennies. So 5 minutes into the show, they're in the middle, I guess it's not 5 minutes, a little ways in, but Colm's about to do the very first, that this tutu sullied flesh speech. He's about to do the very first monologue. And he's put his foot up on a bench as if he's thinking everyone else has left the stage. And he turns and looks at the audience and says, "Did you think we were kidding? We're serious. We feel the things you throw on stage." And he starts reaming out the audience, but in the most respectful way, because the guy that was playing Polonius on stage was a veteran of Stratford. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he was in his 70s maybe. And he said, "This fellow just got hit on the head with a penny. We have worked so hard to make this right, and that's how you respect us, and that's how you thank us. So we're going to walk off the stage right now, and we're going to have a discussion as a cast and decide whether or not we want to come back on." And he left the stage, and the house lights came up, and I'm like a grown-up who loves theater, and I was going, I'm sorry. Like I hadn't done anything, but I just thought, so I don't know what happened.
Karen's trying to dig through her purse, get rid of all the pennies in her purse.
Teachers
no evidence.
must have, I don't know what happened. 10 minutes later, maybe, Colm Feore comes back on stage and says, "Okay, we've discussed it and we're going to continue because we love this play and we love telling this story to all of you. And everyone in the world wants to play Hamlet. Every actor wants to play Hamlet. And this is finally my chance. You have no idea how hard I've worked. And I don't even know if I've got it right, but I really want to show you what I've done and what we've all done. And then he turned his back, walked up stage, put his foot up on the bench and picked up on the monologue. And the rest of the show just sailed. Like it just, and it takes a big moment for actors to have to stop a show because of an audience. It very rarely happens. And on this one, I was like, yep, I'm with you. I would have done it. Yes, Mary-Ellen.
You need to understand, folks, because this is all just auditory, that I put my hand up when there's something I'm really anxious to say.
It's good. It's good.
It's the old school thing, you know.
Yep.
And that's for the best, because I would never interrupt Karen.
Good. Nor would you interrupt me, because I'm another.
Quiet, buddy. Mary-Ellen's talking.
No!
Anyway, another story. I'm going to pick up on another Shakespeare story. This was at the Globe in London. Mark Rylance was playing Hamlet.
Oh, I love Mark Rylance so much. I could scream. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Because for me, that is the definitive performance of Hamlet, was the Hamlet I saw by Mark Rylance. Brilliant. Words and lines started making more sense to me with that. And how many times have I read the play, seen the play, but all of a sudden things were making way more sense. It was the same thing when I saw Martha Henry play Prospero in Stratford. Yeah. Anyway, back to Globe. So we're in the performance, we're sitting there, and it's the scene where Polonius is talking to Ophelia, basically saying, so what did your brother say to you? I want to know before he left.
Yep.
What were the two of you talking about? And it's an older actor playing Polonius. And from where I was sitting in the audience, I could see his face. She had her back to me, but I could see his face. And you know that look that an actor gets on their face when they know that they can't remember the next line?
I know that look very, very well.
Yep. Well, I saw that look fall on this man's face, and I'm going, oh no, Ophelia, cue him. Somebody help him. And from further up in the seating section, center audience, a voice called out the line. The actor picked it up, carried on with the speech, and when he was finished the speech, he turned and he bowed his head to the voice, and they carried on the scene.
I am covered in goosebumps right now.
It was the most magic, real moment. The whole audience was just... like, you could hear us all holding our breath because we knew the actor had missed the line. And then we were all so incredibly grateful. It just made so much sense in the Globe Theatre that an actor would respond to an audience member.
And that they were both like so keen on what was going on at that moment. Oh, that's such a good story.
When they took their bows at the end, Polonius took his bow. Then he stepped forward and indicated the voice, because that's all it was. And the audience turned and clapped for the voice and then clapped again for the actors. It was magic.
That's so classy. Like that actor, pure class right there. Mm-hmm. Okay, speaking of actors with class, perhaps we'll talk about the one-act festivals that happen all over Alberta.
Sure.
Because
I actually want to hear more about the ancient civilization of Egypt, if we could kind of double back on that.
I do actually want to hear you guys have a conversation about Egypt, but first...
don't. I'm sorry. It'll be a lecture. I don't know anything.
I would imagine that the Alberta Drama Festival Association is as old, if not older, than Arts Trek.
In its iteration as the Alberta Drama Festival Association, it celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2019.
Okay, so close, very close.
Very close.
Younger sibling who gets less attention.
Yeah.
It's not true. Because I've had the joy of adjudicating a number of regional festivals and high school one-act festivals. And I was going to do the provincial one-act festival in 2020. I was set to adjudicate it. And of course, COVID came up. And I was so excited because I teach at so many high schools. I was going to see some of my kids up there, but also it was at Red Deer College, which is my alma mater. And I was so excited, but it's totally understandable. But I do get to adjudicate the Foothills Regional One-Act Festival for the second time. At the end of next month. And I am tickled because I just love it. And I think it's what you were talking about with people who either do this professionally or not, or are at least doing this as a loving hobby that is close to their soul. And just the talent, like the absolute talent in the small towns with these one-act festivals blow my mind. Is there one happening in every region? Like I check on the website and I see, I feel like maybe there's a couple regions because of COVID may still not be having one. But normally, how many regions are there across Alberta that do
10.
a one-act festival? 10.
There are 10 regions, and for 2022, there will be 8 regional festivals. Okay. 2 of the regions were not able to, for whatever reason, put on a festival, but they're fully intending to do it.
Sure.
In 2023. But 8 of us will be.
And the idea is that those 8 regions have their own one-act festivals. Out of each of those regions, one of those is chosen to go to the provincials.
One of the outstanding productions from each regional festival is chosen by the adjudicator to move forward to the festival. And this year, the provincial festival is being held at the Bailey Theatre in Camrose, May 27, 28. And that's the Big Valley region.
That's great. All just to say that there's so many Arts Trek kids that come from Camrose. See how I keep bringing in Arts Trek? How many times have you been on stage or stage
I love
managed?
Arts Trek. Sorry.
Yeah, you were in Arts Trek.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted to do my looping into it.
And I was at Drumheller.
And you were at Drumheller, and I never went as a student. I only got to teach and administrate, but man, I'm lucky I got in when I did.
You want a story about Drumheller?
Yep.
My very first year that I went to Drumheller, I went by train. That's, I'm giving away my age here. I took the train. And when I got back, Mother met me at the CN station, which it doesn't function any longer, I don't think, downtown Edmonton. Met me at the station, and I got off the train and I was crying. And my mother said, "Oh, it's all right, sweetheart. I'm so glad you're home. I know you probably were homesick." I looked at her and I said, "No, I didn't want to come home." You should have seen the look on her face, like.
But that's really what every parent wants to hear about their kids' experience at camp. Tell Mary-Ellen what you said about Arts Trek and me, Griffin.
Mother.
Come on.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
This is my acting time.
Okay.
Everyone
right.
hush up.
Okay.
If you died, this is my Hamlet. Here we go. If you died and your funeral was on the same week as Arts Trek, I would choose Arts Trek, which, yeah, crazy thing to say.
I can't tell you, as a mother and an arts lover and somebody who had taught at Arts Trek, when you were a student and said that to me, I was like, there, I've done my job. I've made you like Arts Trek better than me. It's impossible to not love Arts Trek better than your parents, I think.
Yeah. It's an incredible immersion in the arts. It's, you don't need to smoke funny stuff to get high.
See, Griffin, listen to Mary-Ellen.
No thanks, guys. Rock and roll, drugs.
How many one-act festivals have you been involved in yourself, Mary-Ellen? Do you know, as an actor or a stage manager or a director?
Oh, I'm guessing. As a director, performer, I would say about 10.
Oh, so great.
And some of those performances then went on and we put them in the Fringe.
It is a great jumping spot for the Fringe, isn't it? Lots of people come out of One Act Fest and go right to the Fringe circuit.
Yep, absolutely. It's a wonderful opportunity. And other opportunities are that the play then goes on and gets produced at a community theatre like Walterdale or the Pump House, right?
Yep, yeah.
Karen, introduce Mary-Ellen to our favorite new segment of The Breakfast Dish.
Okay. So Alex Cowman is a Rosebud grad. She sings our intro jingle and our outro music. That's Alex Cowman. And in our intro jingle, she sings, "Tell Me Your Dreams Over Bacon and Eggs." And so we've introduced the segment, which is, tell us some crazy dream you've had recently, or a dream that you remember from childhood, or a reoccurring dream that you've never been able to stop having, some sort of nighttime terror. We want to hear about it.
I think, I can do this for you. I was cast in Wit playing the lead at Walterdale.
Wait, is this true or is this part of the dream?
No, this is true.
I wish I'd
we're not
seen
in the
that.
dream yet.
No.
Okay,
this is real.
But it's back up. Okay, great. Carry on.
If you die in the dream, you die in real life.
Anyway, carry on.
So, if you know the play, it's an extremely powerful play about a woman who's dying of ovarian cancer. She was a teacher, an English professor. Specialty was John Donne's metaphysical poetry. The dream I had after the show closed, I would have this dream recurring where I was reliving the monologue, which I found the most difficult, which was the monologue where Vivian is talking about John Donne's poem and dissecting it for her students. And before each performance, I would go down on deck and I would run that monologue. And in my dream, I'm standing on this, can see myself, I'm standing on a stage. It's one of those where you can see yourself, you're in two places at the same time. You're the audience or you're the stage manager, and you're watching yourself do this. And I'm watching myself do the monologue, and I can feel the pressure starting in my chest that can I get the next line out? Do I really understand John Donne's metaphysical poetry? Can I really talk about this? This is all going on while in the dream I'm doing the monologue, and then a voice says, "No, take it back." And I have to start all over again. And I start into the monologue. It's going all right. Then I can feel the tension and the pressure starting. Oh my goodness, do I really what? Oh no. Oh no. Again, please. This is Mary-Ellen grabbing her head. Like going, oh no. This is a live program. I won't swear, but I would wake up.
Swear all you want.
And I was soaked in perspiration.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't remember if that really happened. I'm going, wait a second, did that happen? Do I have to do a show tonight? Oh no. And then I go, no, the show closed. I'm okay. I can go back to sleep.
How funny, an actor having an actor's nightmare. What are the chances? You know what you needed? In that dream, you needed that lovely soul from the Stratford performance that helped Polonius with the next
That's
line.
right, I did, but that person wasn't in my bedroom.
What?
And coming out of the darkness of your closet to repeat the line one more time, it was Mark Rylance.
Oh,
That's
I wish.
right.
I wish.
Take it one more time. And then he kneels down to our audience and whispers in the ear that the breakfast dish is part of the Alberta Podcast Network. It's crazy that he's saying this, but it's locally grown and community supported. He ties up his ascot and says the intro music that you just heard and the outro music that you're about to hear has been composed and performed by Alexander Cowman. He points to a poster on the wall, which has nothing to do with our podcast, but does say that all graphic design for the breakfast dish has been done by Morgan Ermter, and he runs out of the room, and all is left is a pamphlet as it floats to the ground, and it reads, "Karen, what's going on this week?"
Mark, thank you for asking. I just love you, Mark Rylance.
I need to be clear. He didn't ask. It was just written on a piece of paper that he
I see.
ran
Okay.
away. Sorry.
Okay. What I'm going
And
to
I'm sorry for interrupting.
What I'm going to do in lieu of saying what's coming up is I'm going to say that if you go back to the podcast page of this episode, we will link to all the different one-act festivals that are coming up over the next few weeks. So all the different, because there's different weekends, probably 8 different weekends where you can all over Alberta see some great one-act plays. So go back to the podcast page and click on those links.
Mary-Ellen, thank you very much for joining us on The Breakfast Dish.
It's been an absolute delight, Griffin. And Karen, a big virtual hug to you, my dear.
You too. Back at ya.
Thank you.
The door is kicked open. It's Mark Rylance again. And he's like, there's another segment we do to end the breakfast dish. And he brings Karen Johnson Diamond into the room at gunpoint and says that we usually have her improvise a question that we did not plan or think ahead because she's a professional improviser. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Mary-Ellen Perley, if Mark Rylance and Colm Fior walked into your kitchen tomorrow morning, what would you feed them for breakfast?
Oh, a traditional English breakfast. I think they'd both be absolutely delighted.
Can I come?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And all of a sudden, Mark Rylance and Colm Fior bring out epes, and they begin to fight on Mary-Ellen's countertop as we fade to black.
This has been The Breakfast Dish.